Hello students, today we're going to talk about geometry. In 6th grade we deal with plane geometry and solid geometry. Plane geometry or two-dimensional geometry deals with our flat shapes. Solid geometry or three-dimensional geometry deals with our solid figures. This is a cube, this is three-dimensional. This is a rectangular prism, three-dimensional. A pyramid, three-dimensional. And a triangular prism. Today I'm just going to talk about our shapes, plane geometry or two-dimensional. In 6th grade we deal with squares, rectangles, parallelograms, triangles, kites, trapezoids, and sometimes we deal with these odd shapes. So we're going to start off with our squares and our rectangles. To find the area of a square or a rectangle, we can use the formula A equals length times width. You may also see the formula A equals base times height. It's the same thing as length times width. We multiply length times width or base times height. Length times width or base times height. If our square has the dimensions of, let's say, 9 inches by 9 inches, I would use our formula area equals length times width, plug in our 9 times 9, and then when we multiply it, we get 81. Now when we deal with area, we have to label it correctly. Area is labeled in square inches or centimeters, whatever unit you're using. So I'm going to write inches. I could do SQ for squared. I could put a 2 to the second power. I could label it squared inches, anything like that, but you just have to make sure it's labeled appropriately. The idea being I have 81 square inches. It means if I took a bunch of square inches, it would take 81 of these to fill it up. Now let's look at the rectangle. Same thing, I'm going to use the same formula. A equals length times width. But in this case, I'm going to use a decimal or a fraction. That is one of the 6th grade standards. So let's say this is 2.5, and let's say centimeters, and let's say this is 3 centimeters. I'm going to plug those numbers into our formula. Area equals 3 times 2.5. Now, a lot of students will try to tell me that that equals 6.5, but it does not. You have to do the math out and multiply it out. So if I multiply 2.5 times 3, 15, carry the 1, I actually get 7.5. So area equals 7.5 centimeters squared. I could label it with a 2 like that. All right? So that's how you find the area of a square and a rectangle. Now you can use the same formula to help you solve problems. For example, let's say that I have this rectangle here, and let's say it has an area of 50 centimeters squared. So we're just going to say that this has an area is 50 centimeters squared. And let's just say that one of the lengths is 5 centimeters. We want to find the missing width or length right here. We use our formula, area equals length times width. Our area is 50. Plug in a 50 for our area. I've got 5 centimeters for one of our dimensions here. Now it doesn't matter if this one's the length or this one's the width, or this is the length and this is the width. It doesn't matter which one you use for what. So I'm going to say the length is 5 and the width, we don't know what that is. We'll just say W. Now we just have a regular old equation. We know how to solve those, remember, from our algebra unit. We've got 50 equals 5 times W. I would divide both sides by 5, divide by 5, and we get 10 equals the width. So now it's your turn to go ahead and practice some of those problems. Next time, we'll work on parallelograms. See you later.